Welcome to GSJ Speaks, where we shine a light on the change makers transforming our communities. Today, we're excited to sit down with Maria Delis from the Beyond Hunger organization to discuss their services and also healthy holiday eating. Beyond Hunger has partnered with GSJ Family Life Center since 2023, providing health ambassador training, nutrition education, and food demonstrations for our participants. Now we'd like to present a video further describing the organization's mission and services.
"45 years ago, a group of Girl Scouts noticed neighbors struggling with hunger. They formed a food pantry and convinced the local township to support it financially. That pantry became the organization we know as Beyond Hunger. We're proud to call these girls our foremothers, and their scrappy approach to engaging the community to solve problems is embedded in Beyond Hunger's DNA. That can-do attitude has served us well over the decades and allowed for creative and considered program growth."
And now, a bit of background information on our guest. Maria has been a dietitian for 30 years with experience in clinical nutrition, long-term care, and community nutrition. She has worked at Beyond Hunger in Oak Park since 2010. She leads a nutrition education program and is a preceptor for dietetic interns completing their community nutrition rotation. Maria holds a bachelor's degree in nutrition and medical dietetics from the University of Illinois at Chicago. Her love for cooking led her to culinary school at Kendall College in 2024, where she received a baccalaureate certification in professional cookery. Thank you, Maria, for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I remember the first time that we met, you did a food demonstration. I was going through my ambassador training.
Mm-hmm.
And you were so sweet. And you were teaching us how to use the knife and things like, and the dishes were really good. So thank you.
I'm glad you liked them.
Appreciate it. And thank you for joining the show with me today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Beyond Hunger has my heart.
Thank you.
Bree is wonderful.
She is.
Meeting the rest of the team has been an absolute joy. So thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
So let's talk about Beyond Hunger. Tell me about the services and about your role.
Yes. So as we saw from the video, it started off from a Girl Scout troop in the late 1970s. And it was really just, they saw a need in the community for food. And they started off with holiday gift baskets. And it soon grew to something a lot bigger with the help of the Oak Park Township. It grew into the Hunger Task Force. And that ended up being 75 families that they started to serve outside of the holidays. And that was where the food pantry really was born. And it was called Oak Park River Forest Food Pantry back then. And it remained Oak Park River Forest Food Pantry until 2019 when we changed our name. But it has grown a lot since those initial 75 people that first came in to get food from our location. It was in different locations back then. I think right now the food pantry offers a lot of different types of foods. It's an emergency food assistance program, and it offers the food pantry where people can visit us through the drive-through. The drive-through means that they will come in with their cars. We will put in a pre-packed box of food that contains non-perishable items that any kitchen would need. We have a box or a bag of frozen meat, butter, eggs, 2 bags of fresh vegetables and fruits. So a lot of different foods that go in the drive-through area. Or if people don't want to, if they don't care about the choice aspect of it, or I'm sorry, if they care about the choice aspect of it, they can come into our community market and shop for their own groceries. So we have a second food pantry that works in tandem with the drive-through,
Okay.
and it's inside of our building.
Okay, all right.
And that's our community market.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so tell me about your role.
So my role is I am one of 3 dietitians, and my role is managing the nutrition education program, where I lead cooking demonstrations and cooking classes, and I precept dietetic interns from 4 universities that do their community nutrition rotation or food service management rotation. That's a new rotation that we added last year.
Okay. And as far as the number of families that you believe that you guys have served since it opened, since it was originally Oak Park River Forest, how many families do you think that you guys have served over that time frame?
You know, over that time frame, it's hundreds of thousands.
I'm sure.
You know, I can tell you just in this past year, we've served almost 70,000, and that's just one year. So imagine over the course of 45 years how many people we have served.
So where do where do you think the majority of the families come from when they're coming in?
Yeah,
do you have any idea?
Well, we collect data, and we right now we have 13 priority zip code area that we service.
I did see that. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we have 13 zip codes that we call our priority service area. And people are coming from all over. We serve 2 Chicago zip codes. We also have Oak Park, River Forest, and all the surrounding areas around Oak Park, like Berwyn and Schiller Park, Forest Park, Elmwood Park.
Wow.
All of that information is on our website. We have the exact zip codes on our website.
Okay,
But we
so people will be able to go to the website to see if they qualify. But just a real quick question, if they're not in that zip code, right, are they still okay with, are they still allowed to come?
Yes,
okay,
they can still visit.
Okay, very good.
They can still visit.
Okay.
And it's a really easy process. When they come in, people can choose to either shop through our food, our drive-through, or come inside and choose their own groceries.
Okay.
And with either of the options, we have the option of tailoring their food to any medical conditions or any food allergies or culturally relevant foods. We have that as well. We have Latin boxes, which have have foods for people from the Latin American countries. So things like rice and dried beans and specific things to South America, specific foods to Mexico and Central America. So we try to meet people where they're at, and we try to give them the types of foods that they want to see.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I did
thank you.
not
You didn't
know that.
that.
That is
Yeah.
really, really amazing.
Thank you.
Me and my sister recently went on to do the volunteer application.
Oh, yes.
And then we had to do the volunteer training. And I learned a lot about what it was that you guys were doing. And I remember seeing that there was a culturally responsive tag throughout. And now I understand basically what that means.
Yeah.
But I am just so moved by how much you guys have actually done.
Thank you.
You know, in what we just said, at like 45 years.
Yes. It's really come a long way.
And the number of people that come. And then I'm sure, getting off topic just for a second, but the number of people that may have come with the SNAP being shut down for that 43 days, I think. Yeah, 43 days. How did that impact you guys?
Yeah, so we've broken records this past few months.
Wow.
During the government shutdown especially, we were seeing more and more people coming and needing our services. It's November, and we have 3 more distributions left in November, and we've already hit over almost 1,600 families have visited, and we still have 3 more distributions left in November.
Just in this, and November's over technically next week.
We've had a huge amount of visits to our food pantry. You know, not only the government shutdown, people are feeling it at the grocery stores. The prices are still really high. And it just doesn't make it any easier when there's cuts to government funding and SNAP and things like that. So,
and I've noticed, honestly, one of the things that I've noticed in shopping is that things that used to be really inexpensive, like fruit and vegetables, those used to be the really inexpensive things, have now become a little more expensive.
Well, even eggs. Remember, we used to say eggs is a cheaper form of protein.
Right, and now they're expensive. So I could see the use for for Beyond Hunger.
And one of the things we do give at both of our drive-through and our community market is eggs. So everybody gets a dozen eggs and
Very
a pound
good.
of butter.
Very good.
So these are some of the basics and some of the necessities really that a household would need
They really do.
in order to support their nutrition.
Wow. So and so Beyond Hunger. Now I
Yes,
understand.
so now you understand. So, really,
Yeah.
it's, the Beyond Hunger, we changed the name because we weren't just a food pantry that gave groceries. We started offering benefit services, and those are services that connect people to the federal benefits like SNAP and Medicaid and other benefits that are available even locally and statewide. So that's one thing that made it beyond just the groceries.
Beyond just groceries.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it was
now I
that.
get
So
it.
then the nutrition education program that I run that was not there before, and the nutrition education will bring in cooking demonstrations and cooking classes and all those things that you get, recipes and handouts, and the interns being involved and just being able to do all those things to teach people how to cook the food that they will get from us is a
How
really
to live
important.
a more quality of life really matters.
Exactly.
When we were younger and our parents were bringing us up, they cooked more at home. But now a lot of people don't cook at home
Right.
as much, and then also they're doing a lot of microwavable stuff.
Right.
As opposed to actually cooking, because some people have not been taught.
Right.
Because we became the microwave, latchkey kid generation, where parents are starting to go back to work much more.
Both parents do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I got on the website, because we have to do the food demonstrations, and Bruce like, get on the website and you'll see all of the recipes that we have.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the number, and they're easy. They're easy.
Yes.
So people, go to the website if you're looking for any type of, and this is sides, main dishes, anything. They're all really nutritious, very, very healthy, and very easy to prepare. So I hope that you guys will visit their website and actually do that, and we'll give some information about the website at the end of the show. But that leads into holiday eating.
Yes. Holiday eating, yeah.
So talk to me about that. What are you guys teaching?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What do
That's
you
a big
suggest?
topic.
Yeah, it's a big topic, and it's a necessary topic because the rate of diabetes
Yes.
and high blood pressure continue.
Continues to rise, yeah.
And so Bree is one of those dietitians that have been working with us and instructors that have been working with us that constantly emphasize, the macros, what you eat, what you don't eat, how you season your food, how you cook the food. Maybe sometimes you don't need as much protein. Maybe you should eat more fruits and vegetables, things like that. And so for the holidays, you know what we're going to do.
I know. Well, you know what? It comes once a year, right?
Yes,
but,
yes.
The issue with the holidays is that it's just not one day.
No.
It starts from Thanksgiving and doesn't end until New Year's and beyond. So you have like 6 weeks of parties and eating that can really cause someone to maybe gain some pounds, maybe either blood pressure goes up a little bit from too much salt. So yeah, there's some things that can happen in the holiday time during the food with the foods that we're eating at that time. And then coupled with being cold in Chicago, less activity happening, physical activity can really, compound
the problem.
The problem of that.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of tips that we can go through. I think I picked 3 main ones that I think are really important that are doable for people. So staying active, even though we know that in Chicago it's really cold, but there are still some ways that we can stay active even in Chicago's cold winter weather. Everybody's going grocery shopping. Everybody's doing some kind of shopping outside of a grocery store, like a shopping center or something like that. Think about when we get there, parking. Everybody's looking for that parking spot that's the closest to the door. But really, if you try to find a parking spot a little further from the door, those are easily found because nobody wants the further parking spots. And those extra steps that you're going to take to walk to that front door counts towards your step count and to physical activity. And then if you're at a shopping center that has escalators or elevators, skip those, take the stairs. It's another way you can increase your steps. They're usually pretty big, the shopping centers. Walking around the shopping center, enjoying the windows and just, the lights that usually they're very decorated nicely around the holidays. Those are ways that you can get your step count into.
Okay.
And then the other thing that people don't think about, like you'll take the car and drive and watch the holiday lights, see the holiday lights in a neighborhood, but next time drive to a neighborhood, pick one that you like, and then get out of the car, bundle up, and walk around a little bit.
I knew you would say that.
Yeah, and
Yep.
enjoy the holiday lights. That's one thing that I enjoy in the wintertime, just kind of going around and, looking at the holiday lights
Yeah.
that are
I used to do that with my
decorated.
son. We would go over to Oak Park.
Yeah.
And we would drive up and down the
Yeah.
streets, and we would look at the lights and everything.
is
So
really
very
nice.
good. I didn't even think
Yes.
about doing something like that.
Yeah.
I would think that people would think like, no, don't want you necessarily in their neighborhood walking around.
Oh,
but now that I
no,
think about it,
yeah.
it actually would be a good thing.
Yeah.
That's why they put them out, because they want people to see them.
Exactly.
But I didn't even think about that. Very
And
good.
Oak Park has a lot of people walking around
They
at
do.
all time,
They do.
of day and night.
At night.
People are walking their dogs.
Very
so
true.
It's very active
And
neighborhood.
welcoming. It
yeah,
is
and
a
welcoming.
very welcoming
but
community.
There's so many neighborhoods that have really beautiful light displays. The other thing is trying to stay away from activities that always revolve around food, because that's so common around the holidays. So thinking about maybe volunteering at a local organization like Beyond Hunger as a family or as a group or as an organization that you work for. We have lots of group activities that group volunteer shifts at Beyond Hunger that people do together. And especially around the holidays when the schools are closed, families will do it together. So those
little kids will
little
come.
kids too, yeah.
Oh, I read that, but I wasn't sure
Yeah.
like how young can a kid be and come in.
If they're with
that's
their
really
parents, they can
cool.
be younger.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
putting the boxes and stuff together
Different
for the drive-through,
shifts.
or just
Yes, there's a
wow.
lot of different
I
shifts
didn't
to
even
choose
think about
from.
that, but
Yeah.
that definitely will work you out.
Exactly.
Moving around
Oh
it
yeah,
definitely
lifting,
work
you
you
know.
out.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of different
Something
activities.
you got to necessarily do. Okay, people, let's get moving and go down to Beyond Hunger and work in the food pantry.
Yes, volunteer.
Definitely,
It's really fun.
Definitely for the entire winter, not just for the holiday. But let's get into the actual activity of doing that regularly, because
Right.
that constant movement,
Yes.
it definitely will help.
Yes.
So I like that. Okay.
And
all
then
right.
you mentioned something in the very beginning, just modifying your recipes.
Yeah.
And that's really important too. So there's a lot of things that you can do at a holiday party. So if you're invited to a holiday party and it's a potluck, you're in control of what you're going to bring. So that is something easy that you can do if you wanted to make it healthier. You can bring something like a chili, which is easily customizable with extra beans or leaner meat, or a casserole that you can also modify with extra vegetables or however you want to have it. But you're in control of that potluck dish. So you know at least that dish that you bring is something that is appropriate for your health needs. And then
Yes.
you can kind of dabble in whatever else is available. But that's one option. And then if there's a holiday party that involves alcohol, which can be really high in calories, one thing that you can do is do a wine spritzer. Wine spritzer is really easy, taking half wine and half sparkling water, and you have a nice fizzy wine drink that's only about 60 calories. Or a light beer, which is only about 100 calories.
Is the spritzer is one of the, and I don't know if Beyond Hunger has this recipe on there, but is there a recipe on there for drinks as well?
No,
holiday
actually,
drinks.
no,
Okay.
we don't have
All right.
any
No
holiday
worries.
drinks
Not a
recipes.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a good one
But
to
that's really
actually cut
easy.
your alcohol in half by using the spritzer water,
Exactly.
as opposed to the actual liquor itself.
Exactly.
Okay, I didn't even think about that, because
Yeah.
we don't even think about calories being in alcohol. We don't. And how sweet, we don't realize that we're having margaritas and all these other drinks,
Right.
and how much syrup and sugar are in those drinks.
Right.
We really don't think about that. We'll
Yeah,
drink
and-
all day and not even think about
Right,
it.
and most people don't think about the calories that we get from the drinks that we drink. Whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic, we know that even non-alcoholic beverages like soft drinks and other sugar-sweetened beverages contribute a lot of extra calories to our diet. And we usually think of calories as things that we eat,
Yes.
not as we drink.
No.
And that's really important to
Yep,
understand that those also
absolutely.
play a role in our calorie intake for the whole day.
Because my family will go get, like, we're having two different celebrations, but one is going to be at my uncle's house, and then we're going to have the regular one at my house. And we will go get 12 packs of pop.
Yeah.
The 12 packs, and we will literally get every single soda that we could probably see,
You're right.
but not realizing that there's a lot of sugar,
Right.
thus a lot of calories, and sodium in some of those drinks.
Some of them, yes.
Yeah.
But mostly a lot of
lot of
extra
sugar.
sugar and calories, and those empty sugar calories that are so easy to just drink And
So what would you suggest as a really good alternative to soda if we were thinking about?
So the nice thing about soda companies the last few years is they've come out with different sizes. So you remember there used to be like the 16 ounce and really big bottles. Now they've come out with the smaller cans, and that is a really nice way to portion control your soda if you're going to drink soda. But you can do the same thing I suggested with the wine with soda. You can take 7-Up or a Coca-Cola or whatever other soft drink you're drinking, and you add some sparkling water to it, and you've cut it in half. So if you do half soda, half sparkling water, you've cut those calories in that soda in half. And the sugar.
Very
so those
good.
are some ways. And the sparkling water in general has lots and lots of flavors. And those are delicious
And they do,
as well.
actually. They really do. And some of them taste even better than the sodas, actually. Actually, because I started that process like 2 years ago because I had lost a lot of weight. And I had to cut down on the soda because I'm a Pepsi girl. And I whisper saying that because I know we can't do advertising for a company, but I did that almost every day. And so then I found a brand that I could actually drink that was really good, and it was a sparkling water. So tell me about dishes. Tell me about dishes that you think, like a side dish. Something, because you are a chef. So tell me something about a dish that we could probably take and manufacture that would be really healthy, something we can take to a holiday party, or something we can even just cook at home that might be a little different than what we've done in previous years, but it's healthier.
There's a lot of ways that you can cut back on the sugar, salt, and fat in recipes. One thing that a lot of people don't know if you're working with a dessert, for example, is you can cut back 25% of the sugar in the recipe and not affect its taste and its texture. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're making desserts. For side dishes, it depends on what your family likes. If they like vegetables, Brussels sprouts have become really popular. Roasting your vegetables is a great way to bring out the flavor of vegetables. So roasting them on a high heat, about 400 degrees on a sheet pan. Brussels sprouts can be cut in half and just put on the sheet pan with olive oil, salt, pepper. You can put other seasonings like garlic powder. Roast them in the oven until they get nice and brown. And then the crispy edges are also delicious, so include those in the final dish. And then you can toss it with things like vinegar, maple syrup. Those are all nice additions to Brussels sprouts that will make it taste delicious, and they won't be that boiled Brussels sprouts that we remember from our childhood.
Absolutely, because I hated Brussels sprouts. And then my sister found out that there was a really great recipe that she could actually put that she found because she went to a restaurant and actually found it. And then she told me about it. I didn't believe her. And then I actually tasted it, and it actually turned out to be really, really good.
Were they roasted?
Now I will eat them. Yes, they were roasted. And so the natural sugars were brought out.
Exactly. So so you can do the same thing with other vegetables like green beans. We tend to make it into a green bean casserole, which is really high in saturated fat, sodium. But there's ways that you can make a green bean casserole that still tastes good with less amount of saturated fat and sodium. So one way that you can, if you don't want the green bean casserole, you can roast your green beans, and those are really delicious that way. And if you do want green bean casserole, making your own mushroom soup, as we can say, with a lower fat milk. And browning your own mushrooms.
Yourself?
Yourself, using a lower fat milk to make that cream. So instead of a whole milk or a half and half or a whipping cream, you can use a 2% milk. As long as you're using some type of a binder like flour, cornstarch to thicken everything, you'll create a nice creamy sauce that will enrobe the mushrooms and the green beans.
And have the same basic flavor that the other...
I've made it before. It's really good.
This, people, you have to know. Please try some of these things. I think that you will definitely appreciate it. We will have Beyond Hunger back, I promise you, in the spring. And I'm hoping that we can actually record a food demonstration that they can do, because they really do really good dishes. But we are going to now wrap up. It went so fast. I'm really excited about what we've shared today. As we wrap up today's conversation, we want to thank Maria for joining us. We truly appreciate the dedication of Beyond Hunger to our communities. Again, if you need to contact the organization, please call 708-386-1324. Maria also reminds us that healthy eating is possible during the holidays, which we, of course, don't know. Being intentional is important, and dishes can still be delicious. So I say that and I say it again. Dishes can still be delicious. We don't have to cut out all of our favorites, but we do want to ensure to prepare nutrient-dense dishes. To learn more, get involved, or support the work of GSJ Family Life Center, visit www.gsjcenter.org and follow us on social media. From Austin to the airways, this is GSJ Speaks, where community leads and transformation speaks for itself. I'm Shelia Owens, and this is Maria Delis.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.